recent report that the Sixers would welcome Harden back. Although there's two conflicting reports. So you have Ramona Shelburne, who said that Harden requested a trade. It was not a demand. And then another report, Zach Lowe, said if you talk to people around James Harden, he's not backing down. He wants out of Philadelphia. How do you guys interpret the difference there of those two things, especially when you talk about the difference between request and a demand, and then also on the other hand, you got him his people close to him saying he wants out of Philadelphia. That sounds kind of like a demand, not really a request.
Yeah, I mean, it could have started out as a request and became a demand.
That's true. You're in the middle, in the spectrum of request and demand. Maybe it's like
he requested it, then when they didn't do it, you demanded it.
Yep.
That's what I think happened.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to sign this deal. I'm gonna keep my 1 year, but I'm requesting to be, traded. We want to hold on. We don't want to do this and that. All right. I'm demanding to be traded. I don't want to be there anymore. That's just like asking, telling your kids something and you kind of tell them, hey, no video games. And then all of a sudden you hear the game like, hey, didn't I say no video games? It went from just a little small say to, that's it. No more. Yeah, there we go. That's your example of probably what happened.
You could say request. You could say request is like a polite demand.
Yes.
Like how I'm being nice about it right now. Okay. It'd be great if you clean your room in 5 minutes. And then in 5 minutes, if you don't clean your room, X, Y, and Z is happening.
Yes.
So they spin it into Sixers.
They will not get the best version of James Harden if he stays. And I'm not talking about on the court. I'm just saying the best version of him being engaged.
So I was thinking about that because I was comparing. I mean, one thing with Harden, we have a lot of sample size of requests and demands, right? Mostly demands, though, right? Because with Houston, all of his guys and his teammates were kind of gone. It was a new kind of flock of teammates he had when he requested out. And Morey was gone at that point, and they were still close at that point. So when he demanded it, he didn't really – I don't think he really gave a shit about what management or what players thought about him. In Brooklyn, he had a falling out with Kyrie, apparently, and him and Durant were on icy terms, apparently. So when he demanded it, he didn't give a crap about what everyone thought about him. But here, he still does have a good relationship with teammates. He's cool with Tucker. He's cool with Embiid. He's cool with Harris. He's cool with Max. He's cool with other guys. So
he's also cool with the guys that play for the Clippers.
Yeah.
And he's from LA.
Yeah.
He'll end up with the Clippers. Dame will end up in Miami. James doesn't get moved until after Dame gets moved. That's my guess.
All right. Let me ask you a percentage then.
That's
what?
That's my guess.
Okay. So percentage of James Harden is with the Sixers game one, the regular season.
I would say it's less than 50.
Less than 50?
40%.
40% that he's with the Sixers game one.
Is the highest I would go, yes.
What about percentage he's with the Sixers by the trade deadline? Or do you think like he
there's no way.
Really? So you think if he does play, he will cause possible off the court problems enough to them?
And I don't think he'll cause problems. I just don't think it'll be fun.
And you have the whole aspect of Nurse going.
You got a disgruntled player that don't want to be there with a new coach, new team, new system. Why do that?
Yeah. Yeah, and if they think that, then that raises the possibility of him being gone before the season, which is why Nurse probably said.
The issue is everyone knows that he wants out. So they're not going to give you a sweetheart deal. So you're going to eventually have to go to the team that's willing that want him.
We're talking about pure value. Where would you want to be as far as James Harden? Well, what's the best chance for you to showcase your skills and make the most money next season? Because he can't be re-signed right now and extended. He's got to play this year out. So You want to go to a new situation in LA and restart chemistry? Or do you want, I mean, at the floor in Philly, he's averaging 21 and 11 and 6.
Do we want to be in Philly?
But he wants money, right? He wants to make money.
Do we want to be in Philly?
Long term, for this year, anything.
I don't think he wants to be in Philly.
And he gets fired.
You said if he wanted to be in Philly, I mean, he could have just, signed a longer deal. For the amount he make right now, just sign a 3-year deal.
Yeah.
I think they were signing for 3-year deals based on the amount.
Yeah. Yep.
So obviously it was some differences in that. So if there's differences in the contract, he's not one that's going to be like, man, I want to be here no matter what. Look, man, if I'm not getting what I want, and the signs point for him not getting what he wants, if he's going to play another year, he's going to be a year older. I don't care how he plays, because to me, it's a cap on how well he's going to play, because you still have Joel and Maxey. So he's not going to go out and average 30 with that team.
Mm-mm.
He's not going to average 25 with that team. So how is the pay going to be that different?
Because there's an unknown with LA. You got to start from scratch.
How is the pay going to be that different for the Sixers?
No, not for the Sixers.
There's no guarantee the Sixers, if he can go out and do what he did this year, they're not going to give him any more than what they would have gave him this year.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a good point.
Yeah, so in his mind, he's like, if I'm going to take a discount.
In his mind, for what I've done last season, I led the league in assists, and I averaged basically 20 and 11. And y'all telling me, and then I'm gonna be a year older.
What I had heard, Eric,
and I'm supposed to think that you're gonna give me a better deal next year.
Now, what I heard, Eric, was when he signed that 1-and-1 deal, Morey gave him a wink. But now Morey was saying he had some citrus and he got some stuff in his eye. And he was just doing that. So he's like, no, I wasn't winking at you, dude. I was just like, my eye was burning. I didn't wink anything.
Whether they have that deal or not, the fact that James signed it leads me to think that the expectations of him getting more came from somewhere.
Yeah.
Whether it's him and his people assumed it, or it was presented that way.
Yeah.
We talked about it when he did that. We was like, well, it must be something he's getting on the back end of this deal.
Sure. Wink. Citrus. Yeah. But how pissed off maybe is Morey and our side, and the Sixers side, when they heard rumors starting in December about Houston, going to give him the bag. So we're like, you know what? In good faith, you should have played the damn year out. You were trying to gouge us for some extra money in December. You couldn't even wait for the season to be over.
He did play the season out.
He did, but we had rumors since December. We had rumors since Christmas.
But he never said it. We never had a quote from him.
Oh, we know. Come on now. Where was that coming from? It wasn't coming from Philadelphia.
Yeah, but we also have so all the rumors about Tobias, where'd that come from?
The speakerphone.
The fans? Just saying. So that's not the Sixers? That's not the Sixers putting out stuff?
Yeah, they both put out stuff. Absolutely.
Oh, so it goes both ways then.
Were the Sixers putting out stuff for against on James, though? They weren't doing anything.
We don't know.
We would have heard something. Recently, we've heard stuff. No, recently we have.
Yeah, but all we do know is, so all of this stuff about anything, so nothing about James and his partying ways and him not liking Doc and all that stuff, and all of that stuff is just all James people?
I will say that those are all very recent reports, though.
No, but I'm saying that was like during the season. That was before all of this.
I don't remember hearing. Were there really a lot of Doc and Harden problems? I didn't hear about that until they lost.
I think most of that came after we lost.
I'm saying, but it was before free agency.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was way before free agency. I mean, we lost in the middle of May.
True, but we got rid of Doc supposedly for him. But he was part of the reason we got rid of Doc. So I mean, like that's
so who's putting it on? Now they putting it on him that the coach is gone, and now all of a sudden you don't want to pay that same guy.
Yeah, but when
so I'm saying, is that coming from James people?
But there's smoke, there's fire. When James said him and I are okay.
Come on now, Teja. It can't just be all his people putting stuff out. Like
no. There's both sides. There's both sides.
Okay, this is what I'm saying. They're saying he said he talked all this stuff, but then all of a sudden he couldn't play with Doc and this and that, and Doc, got fired, this and that. So they ain't saying that to make a guy look good. That's not why that's being said.
You don't think any of those Doc reports came from Harden's people?
No, I'm just saying, but they're not saying that to make a guy look good. So,
no.
But they happen to say the free agent is the one that don't like the coach.
Yeah, that's true.
No one else on the team. All them guys that he's friends with, but he's the only one that don't like the coach.
It does seem kind of fishy.
Huh? Come on now.
He's
friends with everybody. He's friends with everybody. You said it. He's good friends with all these guys. But he's the only one that don't like the coach.
Players. Harden's had plenty of problems with the coaches and management. We know that. Come on now. We know that. He's got a reputation. It was his third team in 3 years.
He liked D'Antoni.
Great. Yeah, the guy who just let him shoot 50 times a game. Great. Okay. Yeah. I mean,
you said it though. Like don't you can't say he had all these problems with coaches and he
has though.
Success with some too.
Success, but yeah, I mean, but recently, the D'Antoni was 5 years ago at this point, 4 years ago at this point. It was
a long time of his career. That's why his name always popped up when this whole Harden stuff happened. His name always popped up as a head coach possibility.
But we did get rid of Doc.
Didn't he start out? Didn't D'Antoni start out in Brooklyn?
Yeah, he was an assistant on that staff too.
There. Yeah.
Okay.
They're trying to make it right with him. I mean, there's shit coming from both sides. I do agree with that.
So a report came out a couple hours ago. It's pretty much saying we already know, but it's from Woj. Daryl Morey's asking price is exorbitant. Teams are not engaging with the Sixers with the kind of asks that Daryl's asking for James Harden. Right now, the Harden talks, like Damian Lillard, are going to linger into the summer. Do you think the longer this goes, is the haul going to be bigger, or are they going to kind of give in to Morey's ask, or is it kind of going to lessen? Will their offer kind of lose its luster as it goes further?
Are you speaking for Dame and James, or one or the other?
I'm talking about just the Harden situation.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's lingering because until the Dame Lillard situation is settled.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't make a move. You can't do anything until that's settled because you may have a chance to get him.
Yeah.
So you can't make a move. So I'm firm on him not being moved until Lillard's move. I think once Lillard moves, you'll see a little more traction pick up. I still believe. Still feel that Dame will end up in Miami. James will end up with the Clippers. It's just a matter of what other teams and players and picks, how that's going to look.
Yep, I agree.
I mean, they could be moved at the same time. We don't know.
Yeah. Plus, maybe the Sixers want Lillard off the board completely, so they could be like, "All right, Clippers, you're not getting Dame. We know that. Yes. Come on now, give us what we want. No more lying and saying we're waiting for Dame. Dame's gone. You're not getting him." And maybe the Clippers want to see how much Dame goes for.
Yes.
When they're negotiating, they'd be like, I'm not giving you 2 first-round picks if Dame's going for 2 first-round picks.
Exactly.
I'll give you 1 first-round pick.
Exactly.
So, because Dame has higher value than Harden. He does.
Right now, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So you just sit back and watch that trade, and, that kind of shows you the market.
Yeah. But if we're worried about Portland getting lowballed for Dame, wouldn't that want to make us go faster to get rid of him before we see what little goes for Dame? Because if they get lowballed and it's 2 first-round picks and Hero, then we're like, oh man, now we have to accept Powell and Morris and Rocco and 1 pick. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you believe that Morey actually wants to reconcile with Harden and wants him on the team this year, or do you think that's just leverage and trying to get
Morey wants to do what's best for the team?
Yeah.
However that looks.
Yeah.
Such a long way with
James wants to do what's best for him first. That's what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And then once that's decided, then you go out and do what's best. You try your hardest.
Yeah, I think the most interesting thing with this whole thing is this whole Morey narrative. It's like this whole time we got him, everyone's like, "Oh, he's going to do right by Harden. He's going to give him the bags, and he's going to get MDA, D'Antoni. He's going to do everything to keep Morey around, and it's going to be Harden's team." And then like now, look at this now. We're talking about Morey doing what's best for the team, which obviously is his job. That's what he should be doing. But it's just interesting that his whole narrative has just kind of changed with Morey this offseason in the last few months.